then this is the job for you. Hi everyone, how are you all? I hope you all are having a great day. In my last consulting video, a lot of you asked how I became a consultant, and I thought I'll share my journey with you. Maybe it can help you guys, and also it will help you understand whether consulting is the right career for you or not, because it's not everyone's cup of tea. I never ever dreamt of becoming a consultant. Actually, before my MBA, I didn't even know what a consultant was or what they do. So let's first start by understanding what is consultant in a very layman language. So suppose you run a bakery and you're not making as much profit as your competitors, you would hire people who are expert in running bakery business, and they would probably analyze your baking techniques, your mixing technique, your raw materials that you're using, your marketing techniques, your infrastructure. So all the things that are included, that are part of baking business, to understand where is the problem, and then they will tell you that what other best players in industries are doing, which you can adopt to make sure that your business runs successfully. So consultants are nothing but a problem solver for hire, and of course they charge good money for it. How do you become a consultant? So there are two ways to enter consulting. The first one is you do your MBA from a very good grad college, and then company hires you because they know you're hardworking and you would survive in consulting and you have the skills. You have the analytical and the soft skill to become a consultant. The other option is that you continue working in an industry and you build your skills, you build your knowledge, you become expert of that industry. For example, becoming expert of bakery industry, becoming expert of consumer good industry, becoming expert of marketing. And once you become an expert, then you join a consultancy firm and you start helping the other companies. I became a consultant totally by accident. As I said, I never dreamt of becoming a consultant. So I did my engineering after my schooling, and then I joined a multinational car manufacturing company. I worked in their factory for 2 years as a part of the logistic team. And after that, I did my MBA from IIM, Indian Institute of Management. And during my final placement in my MBA college, I was hired by a consulting firm, because I think mainly because of my work experience. I joined the consulting firm, I worked in India for a few years, and then I took a transfer and moved to London. Now, what are things a consulting company looks when they're hiring from a good MBA college? First of all, a top consulting firms only go to top IIMs. So consulting company look at your overall profile. So of course the first thing is academics. Your academics should be really good, and it should be good throughout your schooling, college and MBA. That's basically like hygiene factor. On the top of that, they also want to look at your extracurricular activities. So whether you're involved in sports, you are involved in community events, other things. Also, whether you had any leadership position in past. So maybe you were founder of your club, you were a part of the core team. The other thing they look for is if you've got any scholarship, have you won any national or international or even state level competitions. Basically, how many flavors of things you can bring onto your CV. So I remember when we were in IIM, I had to search for these certificates I've got in my school days. So I used to call my parents and tell them that, remember in 8th class I won this, can you send me that certificate? You know, though I never thought of becoming consultant, but I was always very much inclined toward extracurricular activity. So I was very active in debating, dancing, sport throughout my schooling in college, and I think that really helped me. These are things that you should have. On the top of that, if you have an work experience in the same area where they want to hire a consultant, that really works well for you. It's kind of like a bonus. The other thing is, if you have done engineering from a good college like IIT, then of course it's a plus point. But even if you haven't, which I don't have any IIT on my CV, still I got into consulting. So if you make sure that all other points are ticked, you're good for it. Now this is for getting the shortlist. Then in interview they are going to test you on your problem solving skills. So you have number of case studies. You can of course prep for them. There are many examples of case studies and prepping material available for consulting. If you want a video on that, I can make it, but I'm gonna keep that out of this video. how does the consulting world work and whether you are right fit for it or not. So in consulting, unlike in industry where you are basically hired for a particular role and job and you continue doing same role throughout your career, in consulting you actually have to work on projects. So a project could be 4 weeks, could be 6 weeks, could be 6 months, could be 12 months, depending on the client, depending on the type of project it is. And then you keep shifting from one project to another. Your team keeps shifting, so you'll work with different people. Your manager keeps changing, so you'll have a different manager on a different project. But you do have a career counselor, so he's the one who's basically helping you navigate this world of consulting. The other key thing about consulting is lot of things depends upon you, how proactive you are, how well you're networking with people, how many things you're putting on your plate. Because no, you don't have any one line manager, right? There are people who just prefer to do only this much and they're okay with it. There are people who prefer to do a lot and they're okay with it. What I've seen is in industry, even if you're doing a lot of things, a certain period you have to work in a particular designation before you get promoted. That doesn't happen in consulting. If you're doing a lot of work, people see potential in you, you can get promotion pretty quickly, you can get good hike and you can get good money. That also means that work-life balance can be a challenge in consulting. Okay, now how to know whether consulting is a right fit for you or not. The first thing is, if you are okay with ambiguity and uncertainty, then you would be fine in consulting. So unlike in industry, as I mentioned before, you keep changing your team, you keep changing project, you keep changing industry. One day you might be working for a bakery, the next day you might be working for an oil and gas company. Things can change pretty quickly. You not always know what kind of project you'll do in future, so there's a lot of ambiguity and uncertainty. For some people it can create stress. I know that sometimes I feel out of comfort zone when I don't know what is the next project that I'm going to work on. So you should be comfortable with ambiguity and uncertainties to be comfortable with consulting. The second point is you should have good networking skill. Now this work on and off the project. So basically networking is the key skill in consulting. How well you network with client, how well you network with people around you, how well you network with leadership defines or decide how well you do in consulting. If you network with right people, they'll make sure that they get you the right project. If you're someone who's introvert, I won't say that network consulting is not for you, because I myself is an introvert. It's just that introverts might feel a little bit out of comfort zone. You might have to work a little bit harder on your networking skills as compared to an extrovert, because in consulting you do need to attend different events, you need to talk to people, make sure you're going on coffee, lunches and dinner to build that relationship, because that's what's gonna help you in your career along with doing a good work. The third thing is, if you like routine, then consulting is not for you. It all comes from the fact that you will be working on different projects. So there might be time when the project is really difficult and you have to invest 16-18 hours for a week or a 2 week, and there might come a time when you've done everything, you're on bench and you actually don't have much to do. So there will always be these kind of ups and downs in consulting. It's very hard to actually make a routine and follow it. In terms of, suppose you've decided that I will close my laptop at 6 p.m. every day. You can probably do that in industry where you can prepare well, you know what are the things that you need to take care of in the next few months, and you're very well prepped, you're working from the very start so that you don't get much load later. But in consulting, it's ambiguity, uncertainty, different project. So it might be possible that some days you're working till 10, 12, and some day you don't have that much of work and you're free early. The next part is traveling. So consultants have to travel a lot. Now it might depend from project to project and your preference, what is your function. Even in the start of my career, I had to do a lot of traveling. I know people in my company now who travel from Monday to Thursday. So basically Monday they go to client location and they're back on Friday morning, and this happens every week, or within a week they have to go to multiple locations to attend workshop, to meet clients and to have sales meeting. You should be okay with traveling a lot. I think it's one of the key requirements for being a consultant. I think after COVID it has reduced from what it was before COVID, but still traveling is an important part of consulting. Now Excel and PowerPoint are bread and butter of consulting. There are a lot of, usually when you start your consulting career, you have to do a lot of Excel modeling, data analysis, you have to make a lot of PowerPoint for client. You need to make sure that you're very good in these two skills. If you hate Excel, if you hate PowerPoint, then probably consulting is not the right place for you, because 60% of your time will be working on Excel or PowerPoint, 20% will be probably traveling, and 20% would be having a meeting and talking with clients. So knowing more data analytical tools like Excel, Power BI, Tableau really helps. The next thing is you should be really good at multitasking if you want to be successful in consulting, because as a consultant you're not just working on a project, you have to do multiple other things to be successful. So you work on project, then you have to make sure that you're contributing to community by organizing events, being part of probably IND or any other such initiatives, and lead these initiatives within your team. You also need to make sure that you're contributing in terms of making tools, doing training for your subordinates. You also need to be mentoring the juniors, so you need to make sure that you have a network of junior that you're monitoring, which shows your leadership skills. And yeah, you have to attend different events, to network with people. So yeah, you're doing a lot of things, and on top of that you also have to sell stuff. So you need to work on proposal, BDs, meet with the client, sell stuff. So yeah, you should be comfortable with multitasking. I think the last thing I would say that if you love problem solving, you would love consulting, because that's all what we do. If you love challenges and love solving problems, working on models and creating stories through PowerPoint and articulating these stories to the client and helping them, then this is the job for you. That's it guys, that's all I wanted to share in this video. If you have any more questions, you want me to make videos about any other topic, or do double click on any of these things that I've spoken about, then let me know in the comment, and I'll see you in the next vlog. Bye.